The journey towards success is never easy, especially if you had a rough life. So how does a young person become a global sensation? Watch this video to find out. Hello, quick recaps here. Today I'll explain a 2002 film called 8 Mile. This video contains spoilers, so watch out for that. The film begins as our main character practices music in a beaten-up washroom. Jimmy B. Rabbit Smith Jr. is a 23-year-old who has consistently worried about his potential as a rapper. Currently, there is a rap battle going on, and his best friend Future is the MC, so he's gotten him a slot at a local venue, The Shelter. Rabbit goes on stage, but he chokes up, embarrassing himself and his friends. He leaves the stage, humiliated. Outside, his friends ask him what's going on, and Jimmy reveals he had broken up with his girlfriend, Janine. Since she said she was pregnant, Jimmy left her his car and he has no place to stay. He decides to go back to his mother. His mother stays in a trailer park on the north of 8 Mile Road in Warren, Michigan. His mother, Stephanie, is an alcoholic who is dating an abusive live-in boyfriend called Greg. Greg is almost half Stephanie's age, and Jimmy resents him a lot. Jimmy has a little sister called Lily. Stephanie and Greg are in the process of making another baby when Jimmy comes in. He asks his mother if he can crash there, and his mother welcomes him. During the day, Jimmy works at a car factory and he needs a ride the next day. He is therefore pleasantly surprised when his mother gives him her car as an early birthday present. The next morning, Jimmy finds the car is old and he decides to take the train. His childhood friend Wink approaches him. Wink is a radio DJ with ties to a record label promoter, and he is constantly coming up with ways to make Jimmy the next big name in the state. At work, Jimmy is desperate for money and needs extra shifts, but his supervisor doesn't take him seriously as he just started working there and has a record of habitual tardiness. His supervisor warns that if he's late again, he would get fired. Later, Jimmy is fixing his car and making some music with Future. Future tells him about an oncoming battle, but Jimmy thinks the community will not embrace him because he's white. The year is 1995, and white guys rapping was a big no. Greg comes out of their trailer and asks the boys if they have a cigarette before laughing crazily and getting back inside. Future wonders whether the guy is mentally ill, and Jimmy tells him Greg got into a car accident and he would be getting a big check soon. Jimmy and his friends are driving around the city making jolly fun when Jimmy paint shoots a cop car. As the friends laugh in the car, sirens are heard and the group thinks they're going to get caught. The car dies, and the Jimmy parks it in the alley, making the police car wheeze past them. As Jimmy is fixing the car, the friends discuss a rapist who had attacked a young girl, and one of them mentions the rapist did that because he had a place to do his dirty deeds. Detroit is full of abandoned building sites, perfect for criminal activities. The group proceeds to an underground parking lot where some guys are having an impromptu rap battle. Suddenly, a black SUV pulls in, revealing Jimmy's rivals, a rap group known as Leaders of the Free World. These guys are egotistical and they pick up battles with other rappers. One rapper makes fun of Jimmy and chaos ensues. However, the guys are reasonable enough and leave without causing much damage to each other. The group goes to a club and Jimmy sees Alex, a woman he has a crush on. Alex and her friends join them and the group decides to do something they would definitely be jailed for. Don't try this at home or anywhere else. The group burns down a building where the rapist took advantage of his victims, nearly killing Jimmy in the process. Alex and Jimmy talk, and the two share some sweet moments showing their attraction to each other is mutual. Stephanie gets an eviction note as she is behind on rent for 3 months. She tells Jimmy that he has to pay rent too if he will be staying with them. An argument ensues and Jimmy tells his mother to get a job since she doesn't want to ask Greg for the money. Stephanie also asks her son what he's doing with his life, and this is the wake-up call that Jimmy needs to start being more responsible. At work, Janine approaches Jimmy wanting to know why he left her, and Jimmy says he's not interested in getting into a relationship with her again. As Jimmy is driving with his friends, he realizes Wink is doing promotional work for the Free World guys. A brawl ensues when he tries to confront Wink, and in the commotion, Cheddar, one of Jimmy's friends, pulls out a gun. The group stops fighting and Jimmy convinces Cheddar to put the gun away. However, the naive guy actually shoots himself in the leg. His friends rush him to the hospital where the doctors are able to save him. In the car, Wink and Future start arguing about Jimmy's career and his music causing them to attack each other. Jimmy is angry to think that his friends are fighting while Cheddar is at the hospital. Jimmy goes home sad, and his mother starts telling him about his intimacy issues with Greg, causing Jimmy to lock himself up in the bathroom. Who wants to envision their parents that way? During a lunch break at work, one of Jimmy's coworkers performs a freestyle rap insulting a gay coworker, Paul. Jimmy raps a freestyle defending Paul. Alex arrives and is impressed by Jimmy's actions. Jimmy approaches her and the two sneak into some unused part of the factory and act on their desires, making their relationship somewhat official. The friends reunite to go check up on Cheddar, but he doesn't answer the door. The guys leave, but Jimmy notices Cheddar staring at the group through the window. He waits until Future and the others leave and goes to the house through the back door. Cheddar reveals he didn't feel like entertaining his friends and he feels very bad about his actions. Quite frankly, the group can suck a lot of energy from a person, so we can't blame Cheddar for wanting a break. That evening, Jimmy finds Wink and Alex at his house being entertained by his mother. Jimmy gets out and gets on Wink's case about bringing Alex to his home. Wink convinces Jimmy that Alex wanted to come because she likes him, and informs him of a chance to meet with his producers at a recording studio. After Wink leaves, Alex tells him that he shouldn't be embarrassed about living in a trailer and says Wink is helping her secure a model gig with his connections. Jimmy decides to trust Wink and starts working on his music. The next morning, Jimmy is woken by Greg, who found the eviction notice. He gets very angry and wonders why Stephanie tried to keep it from him. His aggressive nature and the way he disrespects Stephanie makes Jimmy angry, and the two men start fighting. Greg eventually leaves, and Jimmy is ashamed that Lily had to witness that violent scene. Jimmy goes to see Wink, who asks him about his part in the rap battle the next day. Jimmy is angry, and when Future comes, Jimmy asks him why he signed him up without his consent. The two friends argue, with Future trying to explain that he only cares for Jimmy, but Jimmy insults him and Future leaves. He is done trying to care for Jimmy anymore. Jimmy and his friends go to drop Alex at an interview, and unfortunately, she doesn't get the job. Throughout the ride, Jimmy is suspicious of how close Alex and Wink are interacting. Back home, Jimmy finds his mother drank out of her mind as Greg has dumped her. In the house, Stephanie blames Jimmy for the breakup and kicks Jimmy out of the house. Jimmy takes Lily to a babysitter and leaves his mother to sober up. Jimmy's meeting with the producers is on, and he goes to the studios. Another musician is on, so Jimmy goes round looking for Wink. He finds him in the middle of a very hard romantic session with Alex. Jimmy sees red and attacks Wink before leaving. He goes over to Janine's apartment but doesn't muster the courage to talk to her, and he goes back to his mother's home. He picks Lily from the babysitter and notices Free World's SUV pull up before him. Jimmy instructs Lily to get in the house and lock herself up before the hooligans gang up on him, beating him to a pulp. When one of the guys wants to shoot him, Wink finally intervenes and the group goes away. Stephanie finds her son battered up, and her mother's nature makes her forgive her son. It turns out Stephanie had won $3,200 at a bingo tournament, so she has enough to pay the rent and avoid eviction. The next day at work, Jimmy's supervisor finally gives him extra shifts for the night. Alex comes over to bid Jimmy farewell as she has gotten a job in New York. Jimmy tells her he's saving up for some studio time. Alex wishes Jimmy would go to the rap battle that evening. Jimmy decides to compete in the rap battle and asks a colleague to cover his shift for him. At the shelter, he reunites with his friends and raps a little to Cheddar. The Free World guys are there and they start mocking him before Future arrives and sends them packing. Jimmy asks for some privacy to talk to Future. When he starts apologizing, Future tells him that he never took offense, shedding light on how amazing this friendship is. Future pushes Jimmy to get revenge against the leaders of the Free World for what they did to him. Jimmy is left in the same bathroom he was in when the movie started. He looks at himself in the mirror, doubting whether he can do it, but motivating himself. Future calls for him in the arena, and Cheddar comes to inform him he's being summoned. Jimmy musters his courage and goes on stage. In all rounds of the rap battle, Jimmy has to compete against one member of the Free World crew. After handily winning the first two rounds against Lickety Split and Lotto, he faces Papa Doc. Going first, Jimmy preempts Papa Doc's potential insults, acknowledging his own white trash roots and difficult life, while also exposing that Papa Doc, despite posing as a thug, had a comparatively stable and even privileged upbringing. Embarrassed and with nothing to say in rebuttal, Papa Doc hands the microphone back to Future, conceding the battle. After being congratulated by Alex and his friends, Jimmy is offered a position by Future co-hosting battles at the shelter. Jimmy declines, saying that hosting is Future's thing, and he needs to do his own. Jimmy leaves alone and returns to work. That concludes our movie for the day, but wait. True story, this man has killed at least 255 with his sniper. He's the most lethal sniper in America's history. This movie is about how he joined the army and be the best sniper anyone has ever seen. Make sure to check that out and subscribe.